Hey everybody, welcome to Coast Credit. This is Tamiya Robles. I am the owner of FixMyCreditNow850.com. So I am doing a random live, nothing major, but I am going to record this and post this later on. So I decided to get on here and I wanted to talk about how the credit industry has definitely changed. So credit is no longer the same. The credit industry game has definitely changed. Ever since the new FICO 10T has come out, there's been drastic changes. Honestly, this has been going on since the pandemic. For any of you that may have noticed during the pandemic, a lot of people were obviously not working, they were at home, but they had time to fix their credit. They had time to take a look at their finances and before they weren't able to do so. Through that, a lot of people that um, were not in a position to maybe get a home, a car, now that they're focused on their credit, they fixed it and now they are. A lot of people, including myself, purchased homes during the pandemic. There were a lot of good interest rates, a lot was going on. However, anytime something like that is happening, it's too good to be true. So they developed, they meaning FICO, developed a new scoring system that actually came out during the pandemic called the FICO 10 and the FICO 10T. So we can get into that a little bit. I did do a video on my YouTube channel about the FICO 10, FICO 10T, explaining exactly what that was. But all in all, the problem is the banks have definitely changed now. um, what you wouldn't have been approved before. Okay, let me say that again. If you weren't approved before for certain things, you're going to be approved now because of the data points. It's not strictly about your credit score anymore. Your credit score is part of the decision making process, but it's not the end all be all. You have debt to income ratio that factors in. You have, they want to see a mixture of credit. They want to see um, your bank statements, right? Your income verification. There's a lot of other factors now. Before, if you had an amazing credit score, then yes, of course, you can get a home. Now you can have a great credit score, but if the other data points aren't hidden, then you're not going to be approved. You're going to be denied. I have some clients now that they want their credit shot up and they come to me. I put them on the trade line, their score shoots up, and then they're done. They don't want any more business because they think they could just go apply for everything, get approved, but they're getting rejected. So just keep that in mind. The game has definitely changed. It's not what it was. Um, what else is going on? So another thing is people are also people had the opportunity to remove student loans from their credit report, right? That's pretty major. The whole student loan thing is a pretty important deal. So when again the pandemic hit, a lot of people were able to put their student loans in deferred status. I knew then that this was not going to last long. I knew that what was going to happen was okay, sorry about that. I knew then what was going to happen, that it was very temporary. It wasn't just the student loans, though, it was banks. There were not banks, there were utility companies. So if you owed, let's say, on your electric bill, but you couldn't really afford it, you can call the electric company, let them know, hey, I can't afford this due to COVID. And then they put out a disclaimer stating, if you can't pay, let us know and we got you, right? But I knew that that was BS. I knew what was going to happen was they would temporarily approve you guys for whatever deferment, but when it ended on their time, they would backdate it and say, "Hey, you were late, you missed a payment," right? And that's what's happening now. So during the pandemic, or for basically the past 2 years, your student loan was in deferred status. That actually impacted my business because before that happened, I was removing student loans. I was putting people in IDR. I was helping them get their student loans removed and fixing their credit and all this amazing stuff. But once they stated, okay, no, we could put everything in deferred status, people stopped coming to me, but I was warning them that this was only going to be temporary. And then once they got out of deferment, everything was going to be backdated. And look what's happened now. Another issue was the fact that Biden was stating that he was going to get the student loans forgiven for everyone. A lot of people had their hopes up with that. I knew that wasn't going to happen. And look where we're at today. Still didn't happen. So now that's a big thing. But the fact that some people were able to get their student loans removed to get that huge debt off of their credit report, it left them open for better opportunities. Once their credit score became positive, they got that debt removed, so that affected the debt to income ratio, having that negative student loan on their credit report. Um, it became it was an option for people to go this route and then purchase cars. Now, if you also remember, you could purchase a home, you could purchase a car with no problem during the pandemic. There were so many opportunities available for people by staying home and getting their credit repaired. Now we're back at work, right? And it kind of messed up the economy a bit by people fixing their credit and having access to more lines of credit. More people were getting approved for high limit credit cards, people that were never approved before in the past. People were getting approved for $500,000 houses who would have never had an opportunity before. Again, I was one of them. Okay. I was one of those people. So now to kind of curve that, the industry changed completely. We have this new FICO 10, FICO 10T scoring system. And unfortunately, the FICO 10T does go back 2 years. Okay. So what happens 2 years ago, the pandemic, when people bettered themselves, when people allowed themselves to have better financial opportunities, this new scoring system is slowing everything down. Even with the banks, the fact that they're not approving things like they would before based off a high credit score, it's slowing everything down, right? Same concept. Lenders are looking for different things. They're going by certain data points that they wouldn't go by before. Another, I guess, good thing though that did come out of it is these fintech companies. So I'm actually interviewing someone Monday. She is the head of a fintech company that I'm well connected with. We're partnered together with. These are basically I'll have her explain it in detail, but if you didn't get approved by a bank, then you can go to these fintech companies. They're approving people for loans. They actually have pretty good rates, personal loans and business loans. This particular company that I am dealing with, they have pretty high approval ratings. Most of my customers I've sent over, they've gotten approved. And if they're denied, it's usually a credit issue. Unfortunately, sometimes I have customers that will ask me a bunch of questions, want the information without getting their credit fixed, then go to my referral partners and then get denied and wind up coming back to me. It's a preference. I don't know. So the people I have sent over to them, they got approved. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, the fintech companies, that's the new wave. That's what's popping right about now. And there's a lot of them out there. This one that I'm working with now is called True Finco. But again, these are giving people, the consumer, way more opportunities to get approvals than they ever had before. So that's pretty cool. But it is concerning, though. It's concerning in some cases that you can have a high credit score and still get denied. You can have a high credit score and still not get approved for a high loan with a low interest rate. There's people with a 750 credit score that have high interest rate payments. There's people now that have a low credit score, but because everything else on paper looks amazing, they're the ones getting the higher end loans and the low interest rates, which is cool. But everything is just different. The credit game has just completely changed. My recommendation is no one's going to really like it. You might hear other specialists say something different. I really don't care. But get off of the personal credit and change into or transition into the business credit. Um, Business credit is completely different than personal credit. Um, Less information is required from you. The data points aren't as strict as the personal side, but you do have to fix your personal credit. Um, that would be ideal. There's multiple ways to get business credit without getting your personal information, your personal credit checked. But if you want to do things the right way and get, you know, the money that you're looking for, you definitely want to fix your personal credit and then cross over. So that's an option. I'll get into that in future videos as well. Now, a lot of people can sit here and say, well, I don't have any skills. I don't know how I could start a business with what, yada yada. It's up to you. Like anything can be a business. You have skills that maybe you didn't tap into, or you may know people that have skills and maybe you're good at managing. So that's an opportunity right there. Um, but like I said, we can get into that in the future. But in my opinion, this is the best counter to how credit has changed. Okay. So I personally feel that in the very near future, personal credit is going to be obsolete. Um, it just is. It sounds like I'm saying this too early, but this is what happened when I was talking about student loans, right? I foresaw what was going to happen. I was able to see that, okay, student loans, um, you won't be able to get rid of them, right? That the deferred status you were going to eventually owe, which is really messed up. I mean, I got to get off this student loan thing, but it just struck a nerve with me because it affected my business. But because everyone is going to be taken out of deferred status, if you weren't paying during that time, then they're going to it's going to mess up your credit score. So you went from having great credit or better credit, your score elevated because your student loans were in deferred status, and now they're going to take it out, and then everything's going to look like crap all over again, which is going to drastically drop your score, and then you have to get your credit repaired all over again. But you don't have to deal with stuff like that when you're dealing with business credit if you fix your personal credit, right? You can actually take your student loan and then change it into fix it and have it into a line of credit, right? And then when you apply for a business credit, then they will see that you have a high trade line, which is actually your in the form of your student loan, even your car note, right? And some of the stuff you could just transfer over to the business side. Okay. So when you do apply for credit, they will see that you made payments already, on time payments, and that you already have this line of credit that was once on your personal side, on your business side. Again, I feel that this is the solution to the credit game changing. It's not what it was. It's not what it used to be. I remember back in the day when I was like 16, no, I was like 17, 18 years old. I knew absolutely nothing about credit. I didn't understand credit. I didn't know what it was. I didn't care. But I had a teacher tell me that, oh, you don't have any credit. That's good. And there's this saying, no credit is good credit. That was back in the day. Like I don't even know what that means anymore. If anyone comes to me and they have no credit, I give them some sort of credit. Like they can get a trade line to get credit just so they have a score, just so they have something. And then I have someone build from there. But no credit to me is horrible credit. It's bad credit. It's better than having bad credit because you don't have anything to fix. But, and you can build from there, but it's not a good thing, right? But yeah, these are just different options. We got to figure this out, about getting rid of, about crossing over from personal to business. That's it. And that's my solution. But the game is not the same anymore. If you're trying to purchase a house and you think you're good because, your credit score is cool, it's probably not. Go to a mortgage lender, have them run your credit report and see what they say. After you fill out that application and you tell them all of your information and they check all those data points, you'll see why, this credit is game is different. So get your credit fixed. I mean, get your credit fixed like yesterday. Get your credit fixed before they come out with a FICO 11, 11 T that goes back 10 years. You don't want that. It's not going to get any better. Um, and the fact that they released this 2 years earlier than any other credit scoring system is concerning. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. I said a lot. Um, but yeah, the credit game is different. It's changed. I am going to talk about student loans more in the future. Very in the very near future, especially that, some of my clients are coming back to me with concerns about their student loan, and they need me to fix it. So, I'll definitely fix it. And the IDR thing. And so I'll probably talk a lot about that and this new FICO 10C that nobody seems to comprehend how damaging it is for your personal credit. So we'll get into that as well. If you guys have any questions for me, definitely message me, leave a comment, do the like, share, bell thing for sure. But I'm going to keep pumping out more informative videos. If you want my services, schedule a consultation. You can go to my website, which is fixmycreditnow850.com, and I will talk to you guys soon.